Okay, in this video, we're actually going to get started in SketchUp with our energy model. So I'm in SketchUp for Web. I'm going to go to Create New. And just so that I'm going to get rid of the guy here. And we're going to go into our scenes. And we're going to go into our camera. And we're going to go into parallel projection and standard views. And I'm going to go to my plan view just to make it simple for me to draw my floor plan view. And since I've got something going here, I'm going to save this. So I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go to SketchUp. And let's call this 1223 9th Street Energy Model. And then I'm going to hit save here. Okay, so now I've got to know what my dimensions are. So I'm going to go back to the plan here. So if you have two monitors, you can have one on one monitor and model it on the left, but since I'm only recording one screen, I'm going to have to switch back and forth. So first thing we want to do is go to the first floor plan, and we want to model this so that north is up on the page, because that's important for, like, if we ever want to put solar panels, we have to have it on the right orientation. So I went through and drew a little diagram to make it easy for us, and luckily this designer made north up on the page, so we can just draw it the way we see it here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle that's 29 by 36. And we're going to ignore the porch and the garage for now. We're going to add those later. So we're just going to focus on the heated part of the house. So we're going to draw a 29 by 36 inch rectangle with a 29 width on the top. Okay, so let's get started here. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool, start. And you can see I'm going to get it kind of, so you can see the width direction and the dimensions in the left is the first number. So I'm just going to click something, and then I know the width is the first number, so I'm going to type in 29 feet, comma, 36 feet, enter. Okay, so now let's see how big that ended up actually being. Okay, so what we've got now is this box, this rectangle of the floor plan. And it's pretty simple. We'll add the porch in and the garage in later, but this is where the energy analysis, the bulk of it happens, because that's the heated part of the house. So now I'm going to switch over. So I could make you figure out all the elevations and how much we want to extrude. Now we want to get this thing up into 3D. I could make you figure it out from that, but on this one, I'm still working on the instructions, but I've decided to kind of do all the math for you here. So first off, we drew the footprint first, so we're there. So now we want to get to the top of the first floor wall. So we're going to control extrude up 8 feet 1 1/8 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So now just so we can see what we're doing, let's change this into ISO view. Okay. So first thing we want to do is extrude this up. So this is actually the push-pull tool. It's not called extrude, but that's what it's doing. It's extruding it. Now what we want to do is we want to hit Control to create a new starting face. So let's go ahead and do that. So I hit Control and I see the plus. And I move it up. And I can just move it up any, oops, I did it twice here. So let me back off once. I'm going to just have to do that one over. So let's go up again, click it, and I'm going to type in 8 feet 1.125. I can leave the inches off. And so it gives me 8 foot 1 1/8 inches. So now we've got the height of the wall. The roof's going to sit on top of that. So this is really my first floor ceiling here. So now if I go back to my instructions, what I want to do is now go back to that first floor that we drew first, and I want to extrude it down 1 foot 8 1/4 inches for the first floor system. So let's go down to the bottom, and we're going to extrude it down 1 foot 8.25, and that's our floor system. Now I don't like this where it's gray up. It's gray when I look up, it's gray when I look down. So I'm going to go into styles here. So let's show you how we fix that. So I'm going to go into styles, and I don't like this architectural designs. I'm going to go to browse. I'm going to go to default styles. I'm going to pick the one where I can actually see when I'm looking down it's green, and when I'm looking up it's blue at the sky. That just makes it easier for me to understand what the heck's going on here. So now I've modeled my first floor line first. I extruded up to get to the top of the wall. I extruded it down to get to the bottom of the floor system. Now I'm going to go to the bottom again, and I'm going to extrude it down one more time. Let's look at my instructions, because I got to get the part of the basement wall that's above grade. So I'm going to extrude it down 8 inches. So I've got my control extrude still selected. I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to type in 8 and hit enter. And so now that's the part of the foundation wall that's exposed that's above grade. Now I've got one last thing to do to get down to the top of the slab. So let's look at my cheat notes here, or my instructions. Now I'm going to go down 6 foot 10 and a half, so I show the basement wall below grade. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm still at the bottom. I'm going to type in 6 foot 10.5, enter. Okay, so now I've actually modeled the bulk of the house. Now just so that we understand what the various materials are, I'm going to paint them on there so I don't get confused. So for the siding, I'm going to paint on a siding material. So let's click there, and let's just do a horizontal lap siding. So this will help us kind of graphically figure out, oh, that's my wall above grade. And then I've got the floor system. So I'm going to pick, it's still above grade and it still would have siding on it. I'm going to pick that to show my floor system. Just change the direction of the siding that's on it. So that would be my rim joist. It would have different kinds of insulation. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, or I should say, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exposed foundation wall above grade. So I'll pick up kind of a colored pretty brick, because you might actually have something aesthetically pleasing on your foundation wall above grade. And then for the stuff below grade, I'm going to pick just something that looks like concrete. So maybe I'll go into here and I'll pick concrete. Polished concrete new, that's good enough. Because most foundations around here are concrete. So now we've kind of graphically showed us what these various layers are. So the ground line is going to be at the bottom of the fancy brick there, because that would be my foundation above grade. This would be my foundation below grade. This is my floor system, and these are my walls. Now the cool thing is I can go in and right click on here and select area and do it by material. So this is telling me the area of that siding above grade is exactly what it is without me having to mess with doing all sorts of math. I can do the same thing for the area of my rim joist or my floor system. So if I go to area, material, so you can see this is why one of the reasons why you're doing this in SketchUp. It's a very powerful tool for taking off areas once you do this. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here. We've gotten our basic house footprint designed. Now we're going to have to put in the windows and the doors, and we'll do that in the next video.